If tomorrow all things were gone, I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today. Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. But I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad to stand up next to you and defend her still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
All right, everybody. What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good?
That's the word, Hummingbird.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Maurice Delk Show. Welcome to my panel, everybody. And y'all know, everybody knows that my panel is very intellectual. You know, it's not about left or right. It's very intellectual. It's about uniting. It ain't about identity politics with me. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we got a lot of that. So we got we got different people over here with different mindsets, and no one is never going to agree 100% over here. And so I just want to have a discussion with everybody, and this is my take on making America great again. This is my take on keeping America great. And so we got some wonderful guests over here, right? We got Just Another Channel over here, aka Brandon over here, and we got Jay Da Vinci over here. You know what I'm saying? Much love to you all the way down in Vegas, and we got the Wisconsin Zone. We got Evan in the house. What's going on, Evan? We got Abe in the house, man. I appreciate y'all from coming on here. How's everybody doing over here?
I'm good.
All right.
I can't hear Maurice at all.
Oh.
You can't hear me?
I can hear Evan.
That's okay. I'm far, far more interesting than he is.
Hey, you don't hear me at all, Abe? They don't hear me. Hold on. Let me try this. I don't know why he don't hear me. But anyway, I might have to do a little translation to Abe from Evan. And so first of all, we got Brandon, we got Jay, we got Abe, and we got Evan. I don't know who I'm gonna start first, right? So this is what we're gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give everybody just a little time to speak with each other. So Evan, let me ask you a question. We had some discussion.
Sure.
And it's very, we're very open-minded with each other. Do you think Trump is suitable for being president?
Is what suitable?
Yeah, for being
no,
president.
No, he's not. He's a terrible, terrible person to be president.
Okay, in your opinion.
And I'll explain why.
Okay.
So I admire, among other things in people, I admire the ability to say, either I don't know or I was wrong. Both of those things I think are important characteristics for people to have.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump doesn't do that. Okay. So, and I don't mean, and again, this isn't an ideological thing. This is a sort of what kind of person is he kind of thing. So, for example, in a press conference the other day, Donald Trump said that Seoul, Korea has 38 million people. Okay. That's a mistake. It's not a big mistake. People make mistakes like that all the time. There's a theory as to why he made that mistake. But people make those mistakes all the time. The problem is that Donald Trump will never, ever admit that that was a mistake. Okay? He has problems with that. He retweeted somebody else saying Nancy Pelosi asked for a raise in the stimulus bill. The Constitution says that a representative can't get a raise unless there's been an election between the time the bill was passed and the time the raise takes effect. That's the 27th Amendment. Donald Trump doesn't know that. Now, I'm not saying so. That's the problem. is that it's not that he's an awful person. Well, he's an awful person, but it's not that he's ideologically an awful person. It's that he's objectively an awful person. That's the problem. So, the president needs to be able to say, I was wrong. And the president needs to be able to say, I don't know, and ask an expert. Donald Trump is an expert on everything. Just ask him. So that's the problem. It's not so much that I disagree with his politics, although there are politics that he holds that I disagree with. It's those characteristics. That's the problem.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me, Abe? Okay, go ahead, Evan. We having technical difficulties.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can go on. I mean, those are the issues. I mean, those are the things. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump claims to be an expert on everything is also a problem. Now, I personally find that annoying in a person. Okay, there are so many subjects. I mean, I'm a pretty educated guy, but there are so many subjects that I know nothing about, and I don't know what I'm doing. Right? Ask me how to fix a car, and you got me. I know how to put things into the car. I know how to put passengers in the seat. I know how to put air in the tires. I know how to put oil in the engine, and I know how to put gas in the tank. And that's basically it. So for me to start talking about cars is like Donald Trump talking about epidemiology or meteorology, or there are myriad of subjects on which Donald Trump will express an opinion and die in the trenches on that opinion. And he really doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, and I'm not saying that he needs to. Okay? I'm not saying that he needs to, and I'm not saying other people don't do this. It's just he's relentless about it. He never, I've seldom, if ever, heard the man say, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't understand, or I'm going to defer to the expert, or I don't, or I just don't have any talent for this. Or I made a mistake. Again, going back, I made a mistake. I misspoke. I was wrong. I mean.
Okay. Hey, Brandy, I want you to feedback on that. Your take on that.
Well, alpha men don't do that. Real men don't do that. And if you're going to come in here and say, you don't like the guy's personality, but then you're talking about his mistakes that he's made with factual information, I don't understand what that has to do with someone's personality, really. Aside from, I hear what you're saying, that he can't admit when he's wrong. Like let's talk about this hydroxychloroquine, right? Rachel Maddow and everyone else that you might listen to was going off about Trump and how, oh my God, he's not an epidemiologist. But guess what happened a few days later? The FDA approved hydroxychloroquine for the COVID-19 virus. So, I mean, when is Trump wrong?
When is Trump wrong? He said 38 million people live in Seoul. That's wrong. I'm not saying it's not, again, keep in mind, I'm not talking about a policy decision. I'm talking about the character of the man. And again, if you make a mistake, and people do, everybody does all the time, you say, I made a mistake. I misspoke. I was wrong. And if you can't do that, okay, you have a fundamental flaw in your character. That's a serious problem for a president. A president needs to be able to say, I was wrong. I mean, and I don't mean publicly apologizing for taking a stand. I don't mean publicly apologizing for saying things. I just mean in private, you have to be able to do that. And so if he's in public, again, dying in the last ditch, when he said something that is demonstrably false, and again, I'm not talking about a policy decision here, he's wrong all the time. And I don't mean, when I say all the time, this is a verbal tick. When I say all the time, I don't mean constantly without stopping. I mean with great frequency. So as a general rule, Donald Trump will, when he talks, he will make a mistake of fact. That's not a problem. What is a problem is being unable to say, I made a mistake. The more you talk, the more mistakes you're going to make. It's just a way
Okay,
to-
okay. Abe can't hear me. So I tell Abe to go ahead and feed off that. He can't, since he can't hear me. Well, you got Abe.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, he's saying, go ahead, Abe.
Go ahead, Abe.
I can't hear Maurice at all.
And
He's
tell him go ahead and
asking
feed off that.
you to develop what I said if you want to.
Oh, I mean, I agree with Evan that he is often wrong, and he will never admit that he's wrong. I mean, he's done that before. You know, like that is you can't get. I mean, he does occasionally admit he's wrong, but you know, other people are. The whole never apologize thing, I think, is unhelpful because you can't grow and you can't learn.
Well, but you guys are like nitpicking. Was he wrong about all these veterans who can now go to see a private doctor? Is he wrong about that too? Or
Yes, he is wrong about that.
Oh, he's wrong about that. Okay,
That's
tell me more.
policy.
Tell me how, Rodent.
That's not his policy. It's not a question of again, is this a good policy? Yes. Did he buy into it and did he support it? Yes. Did he originate it? No. That's again one of the problems. Okay. Again, there are things that.
Okay, now hold on. So your issue with that is that he didn't come up with it. Is that what you're saying? Is that what I'm hearing?
My issue is not that he didn't come up with it. That's fine. Presidents do that all the time. It's that he insists that he did.
Well, if no one else
Okay.
did it,
And again,
if no one else
you
did
can
it,
just
he's the only one
okay,
did
let
it,
me
then
give
he
you an
did it.
example of something he said, and he has said several times that I know I don't know of my own knowledge that this is not true, but I will guarantee you 100% it's not true. Okay. And that is, he tells a story about a general coming up to him and saying, "Sir, we don't have any ammunition. We didn't have any ammunition when you became
Oh,
president."
that was a figment
Now,
of
I
speech,
guarantee you-
man.
First off,
That
you
was
can't
a
name the
figment of
general.
speech, bro. I mean, I got
I
exactly.
don't know how many generals talked to the president of the United States, but
Okay.
it can't be more than 10
I want to tell you what,
Okay.
though. All right,
who
check this out.
personally talk to the president of the United States about how much ammunition they have. Cannot be
Check
more
this
than
out.
10.
Would you, if you're
If
president of the
I
United
knew
States,
10 people who had a certain job, I could tell you their names.
if
I can
you were the
tell
president of
you
the United States, will you tell the world how much
Off the
ammunition
top
you
of my
have?
head, 10 people I work with right now.
Would you
So-
tell the world?
First off, he
Would you-
should be able to tell that guy's name. He can't. And second
Right.
off, no general would ever say that to the president, and it's flat out
Oh,
not true.
God, dude.
So,
Dude, really?
I mean, I guarantee you it's not true. Now, there have
I mean,
been
the whole
times
wall
in
thing.
this history of this country when that might have been true. Well, not no ammunition, but a shortage of ammunition. But that was the Korean War. So that was 70 years ago.
Check this out, yo. All right,
That's my problem.
but check this out, right? We don't have no ammunition.
And if you tell me
Okay,
that
there's a-
story is true,
There's a
I
thing.
got a
No.
bridge I'd like to sell you.
There's a thing called context and comprehension. Rule number one. Okay, I would never ever tell the world, even if I was president of the United States, how much ammunition we have. Basically, what he says, we have no ammunition, means that we don't have enough. Now, if you don't have no common
If
sense,
somebody's talking to me, I can't hear you.
yo, tell somebody, tell them. You know what I'm saying? That ammunition, right? We don't have no ammunition doesn't mean we don't have no ammunition. All right, it doesn't mean that we don't. It means we don't have enough ammunition. That's all it meant. And then y'all took it all blank.
I'm assuming that people are talking somewhere, and I can't hear anybody but me, which is fairly common. So I'm going to back out and come back in. I think that's the way to fix this.
All right.
So I'll be back in just a few seconds.
Okay.
Well, and I hear what you're saying there, Jay. And really, my thing is this: these are some, for lack of a better term, I'm trying to think of a better term. These are pathetic reasons to not only not like the president. You don't have to like the president, but when you're ready to usher in communism or some geriatric like retard like Joe Biden, and you have this attitude of anybody but Trump. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
Right.
just a figure of speech too. Like, you don't mean absolutely anyone. You mean almost anyone except for Trump.
Well, I think I would consider Beto O'Rourke like bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
All right, there we go. I can hear you guys now.
I don't think any of these people
All
are
right,
advocating for
what I
communism.
was saying, but what I was saying to you, Atomic, right?
Yeah.
That I'm ex-military, okay?
Yeah.
And on national TV, I would not say how much ammo we have. We have
Yeah.
no ammo was obviously meant we don't have enough.
Well,
All right, he's not going to say how much on national TV.
he said
He's not
none.
going to do that.
He said
That's
we
an
don't have
opening-
any. Mr. President, we don't have any.
Yeah, and I got what he was saying. I mean, that's comprehension. That's basic common sense, yo. I mean, that's on you for your lack of understanding of what he meant. But
I spent 7 years
understood-
studying military history. I kind of know what that means.
I am
I'm saying
in the
Donald
military.
Trump
I was
said
in the military,
zero.
dude.
Donald
don't
said
see-
Trump-
I
Donald
was
Trump
in the
said
military.
Zero military. Zero.
I was in the military, man, and I would not sit there and broadcast how much ammo we have. You don't
There's
know
a
what
difference
kind of
between
weapons we have.
none, some, and a lot.
You know, you
my
expect
point.
too much, though, bro. You expect too much from people.
I expect the president to be able to clearly and coherently recount a conversation that
No.
allegedly occurred.
But dude, but,
And
but
also,
dude,
why
that's
is he telling
dumb.
that?
I mean,
why is
I
he
ain't gonna
telling
lie.
that story? What's the point of telling that story?
Because because it's the truth. Because number one is because we were depleted. Okay, I want to tell you what though. I was in the military from 1990 to 1989. I started and I got done in 1993 as an early out. That's when the Clinton administration came out.
Sure.
All right.
Mhm.
Okay. Now back in '93, they were sending a whole bunch of troops from like my post. Like I was in Kirchhoff, Germany. Okay.
Sure.
We had ours was 2/3 field artillery. We had 3.5 cav. All
Mhm.
right. We had 3.5. We had 3.53 mechanized and 4.42. All right.
Sure.
By the time I got out, they sent all like we were the only ones there was 2/3 field artillery. 3.5 was the last ones before we did. A couple years after that, the whole post right now
Mhm.
is desolate. Okay, what the Democrats did was they sat there and bought our military, depleted our military for the past for years.
Sure.
Here comes Bush. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. We get into a blame war. Okay, because look, I don't like Clinton. I didn't like Bush. I didn't like the first Bush. You know what I'm saying? I voted for Obama on the first term. Second term, I didn't.
Sure.
That's when I became independent.
Okay.
You know? So it was basically, I want somebody real that would speak to me like a regular human being and don't sell me no bullcrap. And lots of these Democratic and Republican, I mean, I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a lot of Republicans that like war. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of wishy-washy. I'm kind of wishy-washy on Lindsey Graham, but I like some of his points. I don't agree with some of his points, but that's only natural. You know what I'm saying? I'll go because number one, I look at things at a very non-biased point of view. If you're doing a bad job, I'll sit there and tell you. And just saying that Trump, because he says we have no ammo, it was a story. Yes, it was a story, but I got the gist of the story. It's like a parable. You got to know the meaning of it.
Well, not only that, but he was criticized for saying that burgers were stacked a mile high when they weren't stacked a mile high. You know what I'm saying? And here's my question. Were we seeing anything like this from President? Now, he took the screen off, but this ATF gun walking scandal, Operation Fast and Furious, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that... I mean, are we seeing anything like this coming out of Trump?
So,
and that was
your
dealing with the
argument
cartels.
is, if I understand the argument, is that Trump's okay because he's not as bad as what the Democrats are doing.
Well, no, I'm saying he's the best president we ever had is what I'm actually saying.
Dude,
okay,
I
but
cannot.
yeah, okay. So you don't. Okay, so you can listen to rap songs about mandatory minimum sentences from the mid '90s when the Clintons in 1994 enacted the most racist drug laws, and then you can have a man like President Trump come in and put the First Step Act and free all these, unjustly jailed people.
1996, baby.
And you're not liking that? That's not good enough for you? He has a bad personality.
You asked me. You didn't ask me whether his. First off, you didn't ask me whether I supported any policies of President Trump. You asked me whether he was constitutionally. Not by constitutionally, I mean character. Is his character such that he should be president? And no, his character is not such that he should be president. So, yeah, look, there are good people around the president. There always are. There are
All right, okay, wait.
There are ideas in the Republican Party that I express. I'm sorry. I'm very bad with names. Da Vinci?
Yeah, go ahead.
A gentleman who is ex-military, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I share a lot of sort of outlooks upon life. It's very similar. You evaluate ideas based on the idea, not on the guy who's espousing it, right?
I base it off this right or
You
wrong.
evaluate the position based on the position, not who said it, right?
No, not really, because I was one of those cats in the military.
Sorry, I think I lost you.
Da Vinci.
Sorry about that. But I was one of those cats in the military, right?
Mhm.
That I was always an independent thinker.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, but one time my sergeant threatened me, and I was going to kick his ass because that was a principal. What they call it, principal of the NCO, that he provoked me, and then I could say anything he want. I could say anything I want to him. You see, rank is only thing in rank. That's just a pay grade. But I don't have to. I respect the pay grade, but I don't have to respect the man.
Right.
And if he gets out of line, then I get in his face. That's just the way I am.
Yeah, and rightly so. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying that that's a characteristic I agree with.
Hey, can someone tell Abe to go ahead and talk? Let Abe have a dance floor.
No,
Yeah, go ahead, Abe.
he talks all the
Hear
time.
me.
I think he does have a truth problem. I mean, the wall, he tweets nonstop, right? Like, and a lot of those are easily fact checkable. So I don't think that is. I think Evan's right. He does largely just kind of make stuff up that's easily verifiable. I also think that
like what? Can you be specific?
Sure. He said Nancy supports MS-13. He says that we're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it. I mean, that's his most famous example. They're definitely not going to pay for it. We're not building a wall.
They are paying for it.
No, they're not.
They are paying for it.
How are they paying for it?
What's your definition of paying for it? You know how they're
They
paying
give
for
us
it?
money, or they build a wall.
No, I call it the new NAFTA. That's how they're paying for it.
That's what Trump said way later. He said they're paying for it by increasing.
But dude, that was common
cooperation.
sense. I seen it coming. I seen that coming before. But when he said it, I seen it before it's coming because he was already talking about doing a new trade agreement. He was already talking about about getting out of NAFTA. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the word that he said all the time. The word that he said all the time is reciprocal trade agreement.
Increasing economic cooperation between the countries. That's not what paying for something means. And why wouldn't you say that?
Dude, paying for it, dude. It doesn't matter how you pay for it. Do you own a business? Have you ever took business courses?
I do not, and I have not.
All right then. So it's a thing called overhead. All right. Let's make this really simple. It's a thing called overhead. All right. You want to sit there and make maximum profit with less overhead. Okay. Now, everybody wants to make maximum profit. All right. Everybody wants to have less overhead. All right. That means so We're paying. Okay, we'll just make it simple. We're paying $1,000. We're paying $1,000 per bulk unit to Mexico. All right, for we can sell to Mexico. Mexico doesn't pay anything to bring their product up. Is that fair? We're losing money, are we? All right.
Yes, in that
Because we're paying for the wall, right? But we're paying for the wall, right? So if we're paying for the
Well,
wall,
there's no wall.
and we have to pay $1,000, we don't have to pay that $1,000, right? So now we equal out all this happening, and guess who's paying for the wall now? Because we saved money, Mexico. Next,
That's just flat out wrong. That's just
There's
that
no wall,
analysis
too.
is terrible. It's unbelievably bad. I mean, I'm not. That's just unbelievably bad. There's so
that's
much wrong with
numbers.
that
That's
analysis.
numbers. Numbers don't lie, bro.
Hard. It's fractally wrong, dude. It's just plain wrong. That's not.
Do you know how
it
it?
works.
Do you know
That's
how
not
much
how
we're bringing in
trade
the United
works.
States
That's
right
not
now?
how tariffs
Wait,
work. And
you know what's saving our ass right now? You know what's saving our ass right now, technically? Is these trade agreements. These trade agreements that Trump made is the only things that sort of keeping us afloat. Why if this coronavirus happened if we didn't have these trade agreements? What do you think? What do you think the United States would be right now?
The trade agreement with Mexico, the revised NAFTA, is fine. That's not the same. He's not even saying there's no tariffs involved. It's a free trade agreement.
I'm gonna check. Okay, we are paying money. We got all the Paris Accord. Okay, we're paying a lot less money. We're paying a lot less money on the EU on NATO. Okay, new trade agreements with South Korea, and pretty soon China is going to be broke within the next 5 years or even sooner, because all the lawsuits that's going against China, which your mainstream news doesn't talk about. Like the city I live in, they're suing China. It's fucking up our blame. Said all of our casinos are closed because a lot of our business is overseas. So we're getting the blunt out of it. That's the bread and butter here in Las Vegas.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Not really America. America's not really. We need both. 40%. Okay, at least 40%. At least 50%. I'm saying estimate. I don't know the facts. But on the strip, right? The people that are on the strip are there, especially on Chinese New Year.
Here's some of the wall. What's this? If it's not being built, what's this?
I mean, it's a 3,000 mile border. They're building hundreds of feet of wall. Like,
but is this a wall or is this not a wall?
It looks like a fence.
No, Obama built fence. Now, let me ask you guys this. Are you comfortable? Now, when you talk about Trump and you want to automatically talk about, like, oh, he lied about Mexico's paying for the wall, are you comfortable being in unison with Rachel Maddow, Anderson Cooper, Jim Acosta? Are you comfortable knowing that that's where you're getting your talking points from?
I don't watch any of those shows.
Me either. I just flat out don't.
I don't have cable.
Well, how do you explain that you have the same narrative as those folks?
Let me put it this way. If I say that the sun rose at 6:19 this morning, right? And the New York Times says that, and the Wall Street Journal says that, and Fox News say that, right? Or no, I'm sorry, that's a bad example. Let me say, I say the sun rose at 6:19 this morning, right? Does it matter who agrees with me? Does it matter if the New York Times agrees with me? Does it matter if the Washington Post agrees with me? Does it matter if Breitbart News agrees with me? It's a fact. It's an objective fact. So when Donald Trump says somebody will pay for something, well, all right, fine. You want to say, now, here's what a president should do, okay, in my humble opinion. And you may disagree with me. A president should say, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Here's how they're going to do it. That, to me, is a fair thing to say. If Donald Trump had said in 2016, Mexico will pay for the wall, and they will pay for it because we're going to renegotiate NAFTA, which he did not say.
Why do you need that kind of clarification?
Because that's what a president does. A president sets a policy initiative and explains how they're going to.
No, you don't. No, you
That
don't.
is
You
literally-
don't.
Let me show you let me show you what a president does before Trump. Are you ready for this? Bring this up, Mo. I got Wikipedia right here. Now, I asked you about Rachel Maddow, and I asked you about Anderson Cooper, and I asked you about Jim Acosta for a reason, okay? Have you heard of the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 or not?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, in 2012, Obama repealed the Smith-Mundt Act of in the 1930s, when they said that propaganda against the American people is illegal globally.
Okay, first off, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that statement that you
Please do.
Okay. Does the president repeal legislation?
They read it. Let me drop this link for you.
Sorry. Let's go through what you said, and let's clarify what you meant.
More semantics. Your game. All right, let's play your game.
Does the president repeal legislation?
Or Congress does.
Congress, nobody repeals legislation, by the way.
No, they sign off on it.
Okay, so you're saying that the president.
Well, don't they just repeal
law
legislation if it was an executive order?
Did he change?
They can do it under the executive order.
Executive order? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm asking. Only way that the president can change legislation is through an executive order.
He can't actually
And
do
then if
that.
it-
He can change how the law is enforced, but he can't change what the law
Right. So,
says.
but then if they have a problem with it,
No, my point is that if you say Obama repealed something, he didn't actually do that. So if you want to say he changed how the law was enforced, or he changed the meaning of how the federal government interprets that law, that's a different statement. And I'm
So
just trying to
executive-
clarify what you mean.
right?
I'm just trying to clarify what you mean.
It seems like that the only thing that law does is let Voice of America be played in the United States.
Isn't Voice of America run by the CIA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
before-
a Cold War thing, isn't it? Isn't it a Cold War information
Cold War
service
thing,
set up
yeah.
by the CIA?
Yeah.
As far as I know, that's just common knowledge. Or,
And so then until, I guess, according to this Wikipedia article, until 2012, you could not play that in the United States, and now you can.
okay.
So I don't know. It doesn't seem like much of a hill to fight about because who cares?
Well,
Well,
yeah.
who cares is the disinformation that's being spread, and the whole reason you even brought up there is no wall, or he said he'd pay for the wall. That's just, you know what I mean? That's just it's like
I
out of
heard-
control.
I heard him say he would pay for the wall.
Like,
I
if we're
heard
gonna
Donald
disinform
Trump
people,
say it. Are you saying I'm lying?
No, what I'm saying is the fact that became a huge anti-Trump narrative means that you guys are part of a collective consciousness that's coming from the left. And when I say the left, I mean the left-hand path, okay? At the root, at the bottom of this rabbit hole, we're talking about satanic pedophiles, okay? And if that's what you want to support, go for it.
are you
Okay,
talking about
okay.
pizza?
I'm not into that.
That's a fantastic connection. Okay, so
Yeah, oh, I know Anthony Weiner, right? Yeah.
could you okay, so you're making a very serious allegation here. Who are you talking about when you say satanic
Allegation?
pedophiles?
Well, where should I start? The next
Wait, let's go. Let's go. All right. We have about like 10 cops, right? And about 7 of them are dead. I don't know the numbers, but a majority of the cops that seen the Wiener files are dead right now.
Okay,
The
so
Wiener Files?
you got a source for that?
just keep
Oh,
supporting
yeah.
it, guys. Just keep supporting it. Just keep supporting it.
New York Times.
I'm not supporting anything. I'm just asking you.
Hey, you don't have to know. Hey, you don't have to know you're supporting something to be supporting it. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll guarantee you I'm not supporting a satanic pedophile. I'll guarantee you that. I mean,
All right. Anyway, here's the thing. All right, dude. You're not supporting satanic pedophiles. Okay, then why did Pelosi just this week try to put money into Planned Parenthood? You ever hear of Moloch, friend?
What are you babbling about?
child child sacrifice, Moloch. All right.
Moloch, you're talking about MOL.
Let's look at Bohemian Grove, dude, back in the 1990s. Okay, what they were doing there. Okay, let's look at this Epstein. Let's look at this Epstein thing, dude.
Let me explain.
Okay.
I worked for the Department of Justice.
Where's these missing kids? Where are the bodies, bro? Where are the bodies of all these missing kids that are gone?
You got missing kids and no bodies.
Oh, right? That's called human trafficking.
Yeah, that happens.
Oh yeah, but it's okay. That happens, right?
No, it's
but let
not
alone
okay.
it. Now we know who's doing it. Epstein. Why? So you're saying that Weinstein that he's going to do his full 23 years when he coughed up a plea,
okay,
right? And that's why. Yeah, that's why everybody's scared
I'm
now.
Still not following how Rachel Maddow connects to how much time Weinstein's going to serve, and I'm really not connecting her with.
When you cop a plea, you're not doing your full time. You got to snitch to cop a plea. Anybody in the hood knows that.
No, that's not true either. I worked for the Department of Justice in 2 different areas, and I will tell you.
Dude, I know a lot of snitches that copped the plea. I know a lot. Mo,
a plea bargain is a bargain made with a defendant between a defendant and a prosecutor to expedite the case. And yes, it generally results in a reduced sentence, and yes, it generally results in a reduced charge. But it is not by definition you snitching on somebody else.
I'm not saying. I did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. Snitching. You see, number one is this is your problem, bro. You don't know. You don't know. You have no clue in what context, common sense, and comprehension is. The 3 C's.
Okay.
Good, you don't. You don't have it, dude. You don't have it. I used snitch on purpose, and you took it literal.
So wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's the thing, and this is a problem with me. I assume that you mean what you say.
I mean what I say, but you have no context. Dude, you can't think. You can't think. You know how
insulted. I was rude too, but that's just telling me I can't think. Cite a source. Cite a law. Tell me about a case. Tell me what can you produce?
I understand that you're a lawyer. That's why I understand that you know law really cool. But number one is, how could you know law and you don't even understand the people that you're defending or persecuting just by the way they speak? Then you just said it. You assume.
I'm saying when somebody says you got to plea because you snitched on somebody, which does happen. Okay.
Dude, the snitching is the point. You cop a plea to snitch.
Make the case go away because you snitch. That's what I
But
thought.
Snitching, but I ain't saying that snitching is right. I ain't saying that snitching is wrong. Snitch is just a word. Because that's the only reason that you cop a plea. If you're snitching.
Okay.
There's no way around.
Hey Mo, give me one more. Give me one more, Mo.
It's my fault. I understood you to mean you're testifying against somebody else. You're saying you're providing testimony against somebody else. Now, if you say, now that's what I interpret it to mean. If somebody says you snitched, that's what I assume they're talking about. That's my.
All right, then don't assume no more. Don't assume no more. Right? I go, number one, I'm trying to school you the real world.
I'm sorry, I was unaware. I have never heard the word that you snitched on yourself. I have never heard anybody say that before. So I'm sorry that you used it in a way that I've never used it. I've never heard it before. But that's
I'm gonna take it back.
Around regular people.
I'm gonna reel this back about 5 minutes, guys, and I put it on the screen here for you about the executive order combating human trafficking, right? As opposed to the other side of the coin where not so much, right? Washington Post.
Okay.
Obama administration placed children with human traffickers. So
again,
what do you think about that?
About whether Trump is better than Obama. That's a different question.
This is not about Trump better than Obama. This is about facts. You're the one saying that's Trump about Obama. I don't care. I have no hate for Trump. I have no hate for Obama. I have no hate for Biden. This is all facts.
But that's the exact comparison you just made.
No, that's a comparison that you made inside your mind.
Trump did this and Obama did this, therefore. If you're not comparing the two of them, why do that?
They held the same office. They held the same office. They have their own administrations.
No, I'll answer that question because it's directed at me. I showed that because I'm proving to you that you're supporting satanic pedophiles.
That's not the same thing at all.
Okay.
I heard Donald Trump make a statement. His behavior has not reflected that statement. That's all I'm saying. I don't know who else is saying that, and I frankly don't care.
Oh, wait, do you believe in God?
It's a talking point because it's the truth.
Wait, do
These
you
people don't believe in God.
At a certain time.
Are you an atheist or a believer?
What?
So I want to know.
How
See,
is
this
that
is me.
relevant to
I want to know.
anything
See, I want to know
we're
who
talking
I'm talking. I always like
How
to
is
know
that
who I'm
relevant
talking
to
to.
anything I'm talking about?
Are you?
that
No, I just want
relevant
to
to
know for
anything I've said?
where I know how to attack this. Are you atheist or you believe in God or you're agnostic?
Does it matter? What for the
No, I'm
sake
just
of argument?
asking.
Let's say
Dude,
I'm a committed
how can I have a
Bible-believing
better
Christian.
grasp on where you are if I don't know
Okay,
what you
for the
believe?
sake of this discussion, let's say I'm a committed Bible-believing Christian.
Okay, cool. That's all I need. All right. So you know that. So you're a committed Bible. Do you believe in abortion or pro-choice?
I believe that there's a right to privacy in the Constitution.
All right. Do you believe taxpayers should pay for abortions?
I believe that there is a right to privacy in the Constitution.
Do you believe that taxpayers should pay for people's abortions? Yes
I don't
or
believe
no?
taxpayers should
You
pay for
mean privacy of murder? Privacy of murder?
Oh, for Christ's sake! This is not part of what we were talking about. This is
But no,
not
but this is
relevant
policies.
at all.
Okay, let's get to the point. Why do you like Biden so much? Let's go there. Because I was just sitting there waiting.
I don't like
Neither
Biden
me nor
because
Evan
he's
think
very,
Biden's
very,
fantastic.
very unfocused. I have real concerns about his intellectual capabilities.
Well, are you voting for? I'm gonna ask you, Evan, are you voting for Biden?
I told you at the beginning of this, I would vote for a giant meteorite annihilating all life on Earth before I would vote for Donald Trump.
Anyone but Trump.
Anyone but Trump. Literally anyone but Trump. I mean, I have owned house plants that I would vote for before Donald Trump.
So what about a communist? Are you willing to live under like Chinese rule?
I believe in the Constitution very, very.
Well, you obviously don't, though.
Really? Name one thing I've said that's opposed to the Constitution.
Anyone but Trump.
That's not opposed to the Constitution. That's
Well, yeah, because like Bernie wants to burn the Constitution.
Did I say I supported
Bernie
Bernie?
does not want to.
Well, isn't he anyone but Trump?
Trump has never read the Constitution. So really,
Well, if Trump never read the Constitution, then why won't the Democrats go to the Supreme Court to get all them subpoenas during his impeachment then? And he told them that he did his executive privilege. He used his executive privilege. Only thing that the Congress could have done was to go to the Supreme Court, and they could sit there, and it's their choice if they can relinquish the executive privilege or not. To subpoena Trump.
Executive privilege for people who don't have it.
Yes, sir. The president has a right to executive privilege to withhold any information that he wants, and he didn't. Only when it comes down to people.
That's not.
Wait. You let me finish. You let me finish. Only when it's to sit there to people because number one, and talk about his personal business inside of his administration. He maybe probably said something really fucked up as a joke, and then they say it on a blame thing, and then they'll use it against him. So he said, "No."
Do you understand what executive privilege? Could you define executive privilege for me?
Yes.
What
Executive privilege, that the president has a power to withhold any information from his administration. Period.
Yes, that is true. So what is the purpose of executive privilege?
That he don't have to make it. That's his choice. That's his choice.
So that the president can receive counsel without other people knowing what he's being told, so he can make a decision fairly and safely. It does not cover his personal tax returns. That's
all right. Well, here we go.
Well, where does it say in the Constitution that he has to give up his tax returns?
Wait. What's that law? What's that law in 1976 about not using tax returns? The tax return law. Hey, look up the tax return law in 1976 dealing with the presidents. That's when it came out. I just forgot what it's called. All right,
no,
they can't use that. They can't use that as a weapon. Sorry, dude. That's in the Constitution. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, Brandon? You know what I'm talking about, Brandon? 1976.
Yeah, so year I was born. What about it?
It was a law that they can't use tax returns for
I'll be
political
right back.
purposes.
There's a law
Let's see.
saying that the Congress can get anyone's tax return.
I think it's 1976.
Oh, let
It's
Ed
in it.
talk. Let Ed talk. Hey, what you got to say? Go ahead. Let Ed
It's
talk.
just traditional that the president releases their tax return.
Okay, right here, guys. In 1976, Congress codified the general rule that tax returns are confidential and can be disclosed only in circumstances where Congress has provided an explicit exception. For example, the IRS can share tax returns with tax authorities and with law enforcement agencies. That's what's the law.
Thank you very much, man.
All right.
Next.
So, I'm sorry. Could you repeat when Congress has blah blah blah? Can you repeat that?
Oh, so you're wanting to say like Nancy Pelosi can like subpoena his?
I think that by definition that's what you're talking about. But I
No,
wanted
say the
to-
law again. Say it again. Say the law
Again, a Rachel Maddow narrative, guys. We're on Trump's tax returns now, right? He's not. Mexico's not going to pay for the wall. Trump's tax returns. Let's see what else. I can already guess the third topic we're going to talk about here. Burgers stacked a mile high. What else did Trump
Why would I
lie?
talk about that?
I mean, come on.
Why would I talk about that?
Because
I really don't care. I don't care what the president is.
well, why would we talk about his tax returns?
But
Because
his tax
the president
returns.
doesn't understand what executive privilege means.
You heard the law. You heard the law about his tax returns. You were debunked. Next.
No, you don't know what I'm talking about. You just wrote.
You brought it up. You brought his tax returns
Okay,
up.
so what
We
I
gave
brought
you the
up-
law. We gave you the
Here's what I'm
law,
talking
bro.
about. And this is again next.
Pivot.
For you.
Pivot.
Here's what,
Pivot.
let me explain this again. There's a grand jury in the Southern District of New York. Okay, it's a state case, and the president has invoked executive privilege so that his accountants don't have to comply with a subpoena. That is the case. Now,
Well, why didn't Democrats go to the Supreme Court?
because it's
Wait,
not
take
a
too long.
federal case. It does.
Dude, they still gotta go. Well, dude,
This is
dude,
a
that's the only
grand
way you can
jury
beat it.
subpoena.
you go. Well, dude, you just well, dude, why didn't they go there then? Why didn't they go there?
Because it's not a federal case. Let me repeat this again. This is a grand jury convened by the district attorney of New York County. This is not a federal case. And because
But you know
it's
what?
not
Hey,
a federal
but-
case,
But guess what?
executive privilege
He
doesn't
can.
apply,
But guess what?
and
But
the
guess what?
president is invoking it to shield his accountants. Now, what
Dude,
is the
that's-
point of that?
that's his right.
The president does not understand executive
Okay.
privilege.
I
And he
want
doesn't
to tell you.
understand executive privilege because he
I
hasn't
want to tell
read
you
the
what.
Constitution.
I want to tell you what, dude. All right. Now, this man right here is an international realtor. Okay. Now,
Sure.
That's true.
him being an international realtor, that puts him under a UCC code.
It does
Okay.
not. Go ahead.
Yes, he does, dude. Yes, dude. A lot of these cats are under UCC, dude. That's how the big banks play, dude.
Okay.
The big
go
play,
ahead.
the big banks play that UCC bullshit. That's how countries trade.
Yeah, that's not how countries trade, but go on.
Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
What's the UCC?
That's your nation. That is sovereign. It's a sovereign company. All
Let's
right.
get into semantic. We're going to get into a semantic hole. Go ahead.
What does UCC stand for?
What is it? I forgot.
You don't even have to answer that. These semantics. See, that's how you try to corner conservatives into a corner with semantics.
No way I'm cornered because I'm looking into it.
Let's start. I went to law school for this, so
Yeah. Like if we start talking about coronavirus, it's like, well, where did you get your biology degree from?
Yeah, that type shit.
Where did you get your
Yeah.
source? What are you relying on? What do you
Dude,
Common sense.
Dude, I'm already on this shit, okay?
Let me
This is the way I'm doing my company.
is and how it works. The UCC stands for Uniform Commercial Code.
Remember the code, Uniform Commercial Code, right.
Commercial relations between, guess what? American companies. It's a model code that was later codified. That's what it is. Does it describe international relations? It does not. It is a
Dude, I wasn't even going there, man. I wasn't even going. That wasn't even where I was going.
No, that's what you said. Big banks.
No,
use
no,
the
but no,
UCC.
I say, yeah, that's what I said, but that's not where I was going.
Okay, well, where are you going? I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm
All right.
reacting very
Number one,
strongly.
yeah,
Go ahead.
okay. A lot of these big companies play under that UCC game. All right, with their trusts, unincorporated trusts, and all that type stuff. All right, I'm looking into this, dude. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking into this, and I'm very interested about that.
Are you a sovereign
Because number
citizen?
one is because in the future, since the Fed is about to get demolished, all right, since the Fed's about to get demolished, right, that now that for me personally, in my personal opinion, in my little safe space, right,
Mhm.
I'm looking at this, all right, that corporate business, LLCs, all that, a lot of these companies are not going to come back now unless if they are stimulated out. I get that. But it's still going to be a problem. The reason being is because in order to have your company to survive, you got to turn it into an unincorporated trust, right? So you have to have a phantom company. You know what I'm saying? And fund yourself from the phantom company and then use your paper companies. I call corporations, LLCs, all that stuff, paper companies that's going to fall flat on their face.
Okay.
Why do you think they're more likely to go? Why?
Wait. I don't understand your question. Huh?
So you're concerned that the companies will go bankrupt unless they reorganize from an LLC to a
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
What's that?
From a publicly traded corporation to an LLC?
Hold on, I want to hear Abe talk.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He can't hear me. Tell him go ahead, Abe.
No, I was just wondering why you were like. I mean, I think if you're a public corporation, you have some advantages in raising money and stuff, so that could help you.
But not with the Fed. The Fed controls Wall Street. All right, it's done.
Yes, some ways.
It's done. You know what I'm saying? A lot of businesses are going to go under. I mean, the whole face of business itself has to change, especially now. Okay. Number one is in order for you to have a successful business, you have to be your own bank and borrow against it. It's the only way to survive. It's a risk.
I mean, you can run a profitable business, then you can survive.
No, but profitable. But dude, if you want to sit there and advance from being a profitable business, you know what I'm saying, and be more independent, you have to become a trust. That's the new way of doing business.
That's okay.
I mean, I think that's. Yeah.
What do you think, Brandon? I said, this is my space.
Well, my question is, and I don't want to necessarily like shift the topic, but I want to ask these guys something about global. Do you guys believe in globalism or the New World Order? What are your thoughts on globalism?
Yes.
Like just generally?
Yeah.
I mean, I think some things are best solved globally and some are best solved locally. And you should kind of solve the issue at the area where it makes sense. You know, like climate change is a global issue and zoning is a local issue. And so the appropriate, you know, like some things are best solved by government, some things are best solved in the private sector, and ideally you solve them in the right space.
It also depends on what you mean by globalism, right? I mean, free trade has always been a conservative issue. Conservatives have always supported free trade. That goes back to probably the 1770s. It's a pretty old idea. Now, if you want to talk about globalism in terms of that, well, I don't think a lot of people are opposed to that. Protectionism doesn't work. It's been tried and it doesn't work. You can talk. I mean, so for globalism is. So from that point of view, yeah. I mean, but I also think Abe's right. I mean, they're a local. I mean, in essence, all politics are local. I can't remember who said that, but it's a valid quote. Yeah, so there's that. It depends on what you're talking about. Are you talking about national sovereignty in terms of laws? That's a different topic entirely.
Well, I'm talking about the Council on Foreign Relations, the IMF, the United Nations, the World.
I like the United
the world. What do you like about them?
Oh, I think it's if you can solve problems there instead of war, that would be an ideal. It would be a better venue.
So, what kind of problems has the UN solved for us so far?
I mean, they have a lot of committees on stuff. UNICEF is UN, right? Like they do famine relief when there's global catastrophes. I mean, the UN doesn't get a ton done. I don't think it's a super effective organization always, but it's at least a framework.
So what do you think about what do you think about when Trump said nationalism, not globalism, will be our credo? What do you think of that?
I think it's spectacularly foolish policy.
Why is that?
Because, as I said, protectionism, nationalism has been tried, and it doesn't particularly work.
It's worked for 240 years here until 1913 when the Federal Reserve came in, but it's worked for 240 years here.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. That is a policy decision that Donald Trump can put into place, and it's not that the fact that I disagree with him is not look, my guy lost the election in 2016, right? That is an issue that the president can put into place.
And that he ran on, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, enough people agreed with Donald Trump to elect him, and he can put that into place to reflect that. That is like I said, the president makes policy decisions, and that's what I expect the president to do. If the president advocates a policy decision and it convinces the electorate, I really don't have a beef, do I? Where's my beef? So you respect you understand what I'm saying there?
Well, I do, and I just think you're missing the point of nationalism versus globalism. Are you saying that you're okay with being governed by a global government as opposed?
That's exactly what I'm not saying. So the problem I have is that my idea of nationalism comes from about 1918 because of where my background is. So I have a problem getting past the word. That's on me. Okay, that's not on anybody else. That's not on Donald Trump. That's on me.
Wait. Can you elaborate on that so I can understand exactly what you're saying?
What? I'm saying
Could you elaborate on that so I can understand exactly what you're saying, please?
It's just like Maurice and I have conversations. I'm sorry, Maurice. I know you're moderating and not.
No. I'm here. I'm listening.
Maurice and I have conversations in which Maurice uses words that he's comfortable using that I'm not comfortable using because of what I look like. Okay.
Triggered.
So when he says that puts me on edge, right? That's on me. That's not on him. He doesn't have to talk to me in a way that makes me feel comfortable. He can talk to me any way he wants. If I have an issue with that, then I can say that. But
right.
If he wants to use the N-word in a conversation with me, and I say it that way because I don't like to say it, he is entitled to do that. Okay? So what I'm getting at is when Donald Trump says nationalism, I hear the German Empire in 1918. And that's not what he means. But that's what I hear. And so I have to get past that. And that's a problem. But there are elements of his policy that I think do go back to pre-World War I ideas. And I don't think they work. But again, that's a policy decision that he ran on and got elected with.
We are running out of time, everybody.
I don't have a beef. Does that make sense? Is that clearer?
We are running out of time.
All right.
Man, this is getting good. I hate we running out of time. We got like a couple minutes left, y'all.
Well, let me just end it with this. What we're seeing right now, guys, is businesses closed down. You're being locked in your house, and it's all being done on a global scale. And if you're okay with that because you hate Trump so much, well, then best of luck to you. We're going to fight against it. Much love.
Most deaf.
Okay. As a guy who went to law school, I believe very strongly in national sovereignty, and I believe very strongly in the United States as the great Republican experiment. I am very patriotic on those issues. So, do I have a problem with with a global government coming in and regulating the lives of individual American citizens, yes, I have a.
What if that's anyone but Trump?
What?
What if that's anyone but Trump?
That's not anyone but Trump.
That's what's being proposed here. You think
okay.
you think Joe Biden with his ties to the Ukraine and to China, you think he's America first?
Operation Crossfire.
Joe Biden doesn't have any ties to Ukraine.
Okay.
Hunter Biden does.
Okay.
Using GPS.
Does Donald
He,
Trump,
oh yeah,
does Donald Trump
oh yeah.
have the same
Quid quo
ties
pro,
to Ukraine?
quid quo pro Joe.
Okay, Donald Trump asked for a quid pro quo. Now, you know why?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He
Because
said, "I don't want no
business
quid pro
that's
pro. I don't want no
perfectly
quid pro pro." That no, he don't. No, 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 no. He didn't say
Donald
that.
Trump doesn't know what
He did
quid
not
pro
say
quo
that.
means.
He doesn't
What
know
does
what quid
quid
pro
pro
quo
quo
means.
mean?
Yes.
Once again, what does
Yeah,
quid pro
getting
quo
something
mean?
for something for political reasons. All right,
That's not what it
but
means.
this was but Hunter Biden. But you see, but this is what Biden did. Use his position to make monetary gains from using his position. That's that's illegal.
There's your quid pro quo, Joe.
That's not true. So,
Dude,
I mean,
his son.
are you
Dude,
talking
how
about
the son
Hunter
don't know
Biden
shit
or are you
about
talking about Joe Biden?
gas, about energy and stuff like that, and gets 50 million a month, 50,000 a
No,
month.
that's bad. I mean, they're paying for access, right? That's what they're doing.
Pay to play.
Well,
It's exactly.
yeah.
And guess what? And he used his position. Also, what he said that when what was it called? Burisma, the company Burisma, right? When they were being investigated, then he said, then Biden's stupid ass said it on national TV. He says, if you don't fire that lawyer, you know what I'm saying, you ain't getting this money. You have 6 hours.
Son of a bitch, you got fired, right, Joe?
Right. So did Joe use his position?
He uses position.
Fine, go ahead.
He used his position. He used his
So we're not
position,
corruption.
and his son got that 50. What about the Romania deals? What about the China deals that's coming out?
Hold on.
Okay, let's talk about
everybody.
let's talk about Chris Hines.
Okay, everybody. We are
We don't
out
know who
of
Chris
time.
Hines is.
Okay.
We gotta continue this one.
Thanks for the invite, Mo.
No, stay on
We need a part 2.
I'm in the broadcast, and we're gonna talk, but we are out of time. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Thank you, Evan.
Take care.
Abe.
I'm out of time. Much love.
Thank you, Brandon.
All right.
All love, bro.
Okay.
Everybody, man. Be safe.
Be safe, everybody. Peace out. Peace out. And peace out.